Hi, this is Gil Parris. I'm just about a half an hour from Midtown Manhattan in New York at Lagan Studios. And I'm going to share with you my favorite Reverends. And some of them are very rare. And just do a basic rig rundown. Stuff I use all the time. So the first one I wanted to talk about is the original Formica model that Joe Naylor gave me 20 years ago. That's how the relationship began. We were at the Philly show. Guitar show, and I started doing some gigs for them. And the only thing I did was put Graphtec saddles on it. It's got P90s, and it was very touch sensitive, and that sort of began a relationship. Then moving on, I did an all-star guitar night, and had a very good performance out in LA. Got a standing ovation, and Joe approached me that night at dinner about doing a signature model. So this right here is prototype number one. And I still use this all the time. And this is the first where we had the humbuckers with the single in the middle. And neck feels great, and I never need to touch it. Moving on, this is the anniversary in blue that I played with Greg Koch in Wildwood when we introduced this. And if you were lucky enough to grab them, because I think they only made 20. I think we played about 18 in Colorado, but another great guitar. The other one is, this is kind of humorous, this is the Gilly Corgan. Ken was kind enough to send me this. What happened was, they took the Billy Corgan model and somebody slapped a Gil Parris neck on there, I guess at the manufacturer. And so they sent this to me as a gift, and you know, I don't use it live, but it's really great. It's got Billy's pickups in here, and it's fun. Now, I've been using the Pete Anderson hollow body a lot in recent years. I just shot an instructional video, Chromatic Lines, Shapes, and Moves You Must Know, and I used it on about 80% of the video. I also used that guitar on Good Day New York with Bernie Williams, and we probably played more chromatics in 5 minutes than they have in national TV ever. But anyway, yeah, I love that guitar. I used it on a friend John Cobert's record on Homeward Bound, his version of that, which is beautiful, so check that out. And then finally, that is a Pau Ferro neck with Fishman pickups. And the thing about that is they just sent that to me as a prototype to kind of get used to, you know, did I like the neck, did I like the pickups, and I did. So I shot a few videos with that on YouTube for the love of you, and it's a one of a kind. The charger is not in the guitar, it's separate, not like the new models. And then coming right now, this is the new GPS, there's the Pau Ferro. And this one is with maple. And anyway, let me play a few sounds out of this. Alright, that was just a little clean with some compression, and I'm going out of two old Randalls. They're about 35 years old. One has reverb, one the reverb is disabled. So I'm kind of getting the best of both worlds, a little something wet, a little something dry, and I love that mix. I'm going to put on a little delay and a little tremolo, and then add some gain as I go along on this. just using a little tube screamer added in to the tremolo and delay. Another thing I like is this old Digital Dimension, and the DC3, they haven't made this in years either. And usually I'll use that without the compression, and then when I start doing some picking, I'll add in compression and take that out. So it's a little something by my friend Bobby Caldwell, who used to play this all the time. And here's the pads I would use, like say. And that's just the clean picking with some of that compression. And really makes things kind of pop more. Let me, I'll give you another example. We were playing Georgie Porgy the other night at the quartet gig with Bernie Williams, and Will Lee sang as an encore did Georgie Porgy. So here's a little of that. Now maybe I'll go into some picking here. And then I'll add the compression. And then for the solo, I'll go to some high gain sounds. Here I'll put on both a tube screamer and a super overdrive, Boss stuff, just stock Boss stuff. And I'll kind of use a decimator C for the noise, even though we're stacking gain stages, but there's not a lot of noise. Still pretty quiet, you know, with the Fishmans and the decimator, you could still kind of stack gain without it getting too crazy. Tom, why don't you come and we'll take a look at the pedals. So coming over here, this is my very basic pedal board, and this way I can kind of get my sound out of this with the Randalls or with any amp du jour. I was just talking to Greg on his Gristle podcast, and a lot of times we get Fender Twins, and I'm able to get my sound. So what I do is I come out of here, after the opto stomp, out of the chorus, the Digital Dimension, the DC3, and then I can split the signal to two different amps. Sometimes I'll just use one depending on if one doesn't sound so good. So basically all Boss stuff, except for like, you know, the decimator for noise if needed. I also use the fly rig a lot. I use that a lot for recording, along with a Klon Centaur that Bill Finnegan sent me, a Zen Drive from Hermedia Audio, and an old Marshall Blues Breaker. And all the cables are armored gold cables. In between, they sound great. And you know, this is my basic setup that I go to where I can achieve my tone on the road or in New York. All right, so thanks for coming along on this little Reverend history, my favorite Reverends, and the basic rig rundown. I'm gonna do a full rig rundown with all the stuff I use at some point. And you know, it's been a long time with Reverend. Back when I had a haircut, you could set your watch to. So please check out the new guitar, and hope to see you out there. Thanks.